For more on Trump's plans to overhaul or possibly even eliminate FEMA, let's bring in Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. Margaret, good evening. How realistic are these plans that Trump is floating?
Well, Nancy, it sounded more like an idea than an actual plan. President Trump said he may reform or get rid of FEMA, that federal emergency agency, and he said he might recommend the federal government actually give a percentage of money, of funding to the state. But that's instead of sending actual first responders or assets. Right now, they only go when the governor asks for it. So that's a challenge there. And some disaster-prone states like Florida sometimes need that help. President Trump also would need Congress to actually agree to sign off on changes like forcing California to change their local voting laws in order to get help.
And FEMA, of course, has expertise that a lot of these states just don't have. We also learned today that President Trump has eliminated the security detail for Dr. Anthony Fauci. What can you tell us?
That's right. Dr. Fauci has had federal marshals protecting him for years, and President Trump rescinded that taxpayer-funded protection, saying Fauci has to pay for himself now. The reason he had threats on his life is because of the work he did around COVID. These were domestic extremists upset with him and his criticism of Mr. Trump. Trump also rescinded protection around another critic, a former aide, John Bolton, the national security advisor, who faces threats from the state of Iran. Perhaps most surprising here, though, Nancy, was what he did to former CIA director and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who also faces threats from Iran. He cut that support, and that raises that question of what is his policy? If a former official was assassinated, would that be an act of war by an aggressive state, something President Biden had said about those threats against Mr. Trump? Today, when it came to Bolton and Fauci, the president said he would not feel responsible.
And this may not be the last time that he pulls someone's security detail. Margaret Brennan, thank you so much. And be sure to join Margaret this Sunday morning on Face the Nation, where her guests will include Vice President J.D. Vance in his first interview since taking office.